You can pay like $50,000 for a brand new truck, right?
Right, easily.
You put your name on the title, park that shiny new machine right in your own driveway, and still need Ford's permission to actually use the technology that is already built inside it.
It is wild when you really think about it.
Subscribe to the Unlayered Global now, because this channel does not just explain the headline, it reveals the hidden system underneath it.
Absolutely.
And so many of you specifically asked us to look into why your car payments are changing so dramatically lately.
Yeah, it's a huge shift.
It is. Our mission today is to really uncover this fundamental shift happening across the auto industry. It's a strategy that's basically turning your driveway into a subscription service.
Which completely redefines what it means to actually own a vehicle.
Exactly. Okay, let's unpack this.
Well, it's really the ultimate paradox of modern consumption. What we are witnessing is not the end of car ownership. It is the division of it.
The division of it. I like that.
Yeah, because, you still own the metal, the tires, the glass, the engine, the battery.
And the massive bank loan attached to all of it, of course.
Oh, of course. But the manufacturer increasingly controls the software permissions, the cloud connection, the data layer, and really the entire digital relationship that's wrapped around that physical machine.
Okay, but before we accept all these dramatic headlines flashing across the internet, the ones talking about a $4 billion consumer subscription empire, we do need to clarify the reality a bit.
Right, because Ford hasn't actually disclosed a $4 billion consumer subscription business yet.
No, they haven't. If you look at their financial filings, there are several $billion of unearned revenue sitting there, but that's tied mostly to extended service contracts.
Yeah, not just flashy app fees or like heated seat subscriptions.
Exactly. But the actual strategy they're pursuing is much more profound than that. They are attempting to turn the automobile from a product that is sold exactly once into a platform that generates continuous revenue.
For as long as that vehicle remains connected to a cell tower.
Right. It's kind of like buying a house, fully owning the bricks and the roof, but having to pay a monthly fee to the original builder just to unlock your own front door.
That is a perfect way to look at it. And to really grasp the magnitude of this pivot, you have to look at the brutally simple rhythm of the historical auto business model.
Which was just incredibly capital intensive.
Oh, massively.
Yeah.
For nearly a century, the process was purely transactional. An automaker spends billions designing a vehicle, building these massive physical factories, tooling assembly lines, buying raw steel, microchips, rubber.
Paying the workforce.
Right, paying the workforce, shipping the finished car to a franchise dealer, and then they sell it once. Just once.
And the moment those keys change hands, the manufacturer essentially loses the customer for years.
Exactly. The relationship and all the subsequent profit immediately transfers to banks, insurance companies, fuel providers, and independent mechanics.
Which means the manufacturer only earns one margin at the point of sale.
Leaving them entirely at the mercy of the broader economic cycle.
Right, like when interest rates rise, monthly payments get harder to afford.
And when a recession hits, the whole machine just violently stops. Families delay replacing their cars, inventory piles up on dealer lots, and manufacturers have to rely on these heavy, margin-crushing discounts just to keep the assembly lines moving.
So they take all the upfront financial risk.
Yep, but they capture almost none of the long-term lifetime value of that vehicle.
Okay, so subscriptions are designed to completely obliterate that old rhythm.
Yes. The new always-on model requires a fundamentally different architecture. You build connected hardware into the vehicle at the factory, whether the customer explicitly asks for it or not.
You just put it in every car.
Every car. Then you create a digital account, offer a free trial, build a habit, and eventually convert that customer to a recurring payment.
And from there, the vehicle acts as a constant data funnel.
Right. It allows the manufacturer to cross-sell predictive maintenance, charging network access, security features, navigation, and, future digital upgrades.
Commercially speaking, the vehicle never fully leaves the manufacturer's ecosystem.
Exactly.
And I think the clearest example of this playing out for everyday consumers right now is BlueCruise, which is Ford's hands-free highway driving system.
Yeah, that's the prime example.
If you purchase an eligible vehicle, the hardware is already there, bolted in, and Ford gives you a menu of options to turn it on.
Right. You can pay roughly $50 a month, just under $500 a year, or you can opt for a one-time purchase of around $2,500 when you buy the car.
It is basically a live economic experiment happening right in your driveway.
It really is.
Yeah.
Because a family taking a summer road trip to the Grand Canyon might just activate the $50 monthly pass for July and then immediately cancel it.
But a daily commuter facing an hour of heavy highway traffic every day might easily justify the annual pass.
Sure, but run the math on those choices. After a little more than 5 years, those repeated annual payments begin to exceed that one-time upfront price. Yeah, and by year 7 of ownership, those annual payments total nearly $1,000 more than if you had just bought the feature outright in the first place.
Which exposes the central conflict of this entire strategy. The corporation demands predictable, recurring revenue.
But the customer demands permanent certainty and an eventual end to their payments.
Right. And that tension is not just a minor side detail here. It is the absolute core of the new business model.
And it triggers a massive psychological barrier for the buyer. Because as consumers, we are generally perfectly fine paying for ongoing services.
Sure. I mean, we accept paying for a streaming platform because they are actively funding and adding new movies.
Exactly. We pay for cloud storage because they had to keep massive server farms cooled and running. We will even pay for updated navigation maps because, cities build new roads and reroute traffic.
Because there's ongoing value.
Right. The psychological line is incredibly clear. You are paying for those things because you are continuously receiving something new.
But consumers fiercely resent paying for static hardware that is already physically bolted into the product they just bought.
Exactly. Saying, I am paying for a continuing service that requires active upkeep, well, that feels entirely reasonable to a buyer.
But saying, I am paying $50 every month to use the cameras already installed on my own car.
That feels like a toll booth has been dropped right in the middle of your garage.
Wait, I have to push back here, though, because I am looking at my truck. The cameras, the radar sensors, the computing power, the wiring harnesses, the embedded modem, they were all physically assembled onto my truck at the factory.
Yes, they were.
And I paid the purchase price for that machine. So where exactly is the line between Ford providing an ongoing value-added service and a corporation simply holding my own hardware hostage behind a paywall?
That is the ultimate friction point for retail consumers. And honestly, your skepticism is exactly why the real subscription margin engine isn't actually the family car at all.
It's not.
No. The answer to your question lies in Ford Pro, which is their commercial fleet division.
Okay, so the B2B side.
Right, the B2B reality serving businesses. We're talking electrical contractors, utilities, local government agencies, massive delivery fleets. In a recent quarter, Ford Pro reported roughly 879,000 paid software subscriptions.
879,000. That is a staggering number of active digital accounts for a traditional metal-bending automaker.
And take that a step further. They reported that those commercial subscriptions produce gross margins above 50%.
Wow. Over 50% margin on software.
Yes. Their stated corporate goal is for software and services to eventually make up roughly 1/4 of Ford Pro's entire operating profit.
So this isn't just some cosmetic side project to make the dashboard look futuristic.
Not at all. It is a vital margin strategy. Adding a new software subscriber costs almost nothing compared to buying thousands of pounds of steel, smelting it, and manufacturing another physical truck.
Okay, let's bring this to life because the mindset here is totally different from a regular driver. Picture a plumbing company that operates a fleet of, say, 10 vans. To you or me as a private driver, $50 a month for a digital feature feels like an annoying, inescapable fee.
It feels like a ripoff.
Exactly. But for that plumbing business, if one of their vans breaks down on the highway, the cost isn't just the tow truck and the mechanic's bill.
No, it's so much more.
You have a highly paid worker sitting idle on the shoulder of the road. 3 client appointments are entirely missed. The customer gets angry and calls a competitor.
Yeah, that commercial contract could be permanently damaged by just a single afternoon of disruption.
So to the fleet manager, they aren't looking at a screen asking, is this interface worth $50? They are asking, will this software prevent 1 day of devastating downtime?
And the mechanism behind that prevention is highly sophisticated. Ford Pro monitors vehicle health, fuel consumption, harsh braking, speeding, security alerts, and maintenance requirements in real time.
Just constantly feeding data back.
Constantly. So if a sensor identifies an emerging mechanical problem, say an unexpected voltage drop in the alternator, The platform flags the issue and recommends maintenance before a catastrophic breakdown ever occurs.
So a mobile service unit could be dispatched to perform the repair overnight, and the vehicle stays on the road generating revenue the very next morning.
Exactly. The commercial customer is not paying for a dashboard. This is productivity sold as a service.
So Ford captures the recurring software revenue, they capture the repair revenue, they supply the replacement parts, and I assume, because the fleet manager loves the platform, Ford eventually wins the next vehicle purchase too.
They absolutely do. And we connect this to the bigger picture, the strategy becomes even more expansive because Ford Pro possesses the capability to manage mixed fleets.
What does that mean, mixed fleets?
That means they can integrate and manage non-Ford vehicles through their platform. General Motors vans, Toyota trucks, Stellantis vehicles, they can all sit as data points on Ford's centralized dashboard.
Hold on. So Ford doesn't even need to win the physical vehicle sale to completely control the customer relationship and the data stream?
Not anymore. They become the underlying operating layer across the entire business. Ford is no longer just competing with traditional legacy automakers.
Who are they competing with then?
They're actively competing with enterprise cloud companies, specialized fleet software developers, and massive telecommunications providers. The physical van is just the entry point. The real prize is the integrated account, the automated payment relationship, and the continuous flow of operational data.
Subscribe to the Unlayered Global now, because this channel does not just explain the headline. It reveals the hidden system underneath it.
And the system here is undeniably brilliant for commercial fleets. The math just works.
But because Ford can now fix a software bug over the air without you ever leaving your driveway, the traditional model is fracturing. When you apply this constant connectivity to the consumer side, things get incredibly messy, incredibly fast.
Very messy.
Let's talk about the mechanics of obsolescence. Cars used to age through rust, transmission wear, and mechanical failure. Now they can age through sudden software abandonment.
Which introduces a totally new kind of decay into the physical world. A connected vehicle relies on third-party cellular coverage, continuous cloud server uptime, external mapping providers, active payment gateways, and continued corporate support.
Right, so what happens when a telecommunications company retires a 4G network?
Or what happens when a specific mapping API is no longer supported by the developer? The truck's engine might run flawlessly, the battery holds a perfect charge, the tires are brand new, but a critical digital capability just disappears overnight, effectively bricking a feature you paid for.
And that matters immensely because a truck is not a smartphone. You replace a phone every 2 or 3 years. A heavy-duty pickup truck can easily stay on the road for 15 or 20 years.
Easily.
How long does a corporation owe active digital support to a physical machine it sold a decade ago?
No one really knows yet, and this impending reality creates absolute chaos in the used car market. Consider the mechanics of resale for a second.
Okay.
Let's say the first owner buys a digital feature, a one-time purchase of an advanced driver assist program. Does the digital token for that software stay securely with the vehicle's VIN when they sell it?
Or does it stay tethered to the original owner's cloud account?
Exactly. Does the second owner have to purchase the exact same software permission all over again just to unlock the exact same hardware?
Here's where it gets really interesting. Doesn't this turn buying a used car into a full-blown digital software audit?
Yes, it absolutely does.
You can't just kick the tires, check the oil, and listen to the engine anymore. You have to actively investigate its digital status. Imagine going to a used car lot. You see a truck physically equipped with cameras and advanced sensors, but when you try to turn on lane assist, a screen pops up saying the feature is locked.
Because you realize that just because a vehicle is equipped does not mean those features are active.
And active does not mean permanent. And permanent for the first owner might not mean transferable to the second owner.
You might have to call customer service, verify the VIN, and set up a new payment profile just to turn on the hardware sitting right in front of you.
That is maddening.
It is, and that underlying uncertainty completely scrambles residual resale values. A prospective buyer sees all the hardware physically integrated into the car, but might need to navigate a maze of digital firewalls and establish brand new payment arrangements to make any of it functional.
So a massive portion of the vehicle's value now exists outside the vehicle entirely, just sitting on a server.
Yep. And that dynamic reaches all the way into the financial sector, specifically Ford Credit, which finances and leases these vehicles.
Because they can now fold these digital subscriptions directly into the same monthly payment as the physical car itself.
Right. Driver assistance, cellular connectivity, advanced security, predictive maintenance, charging, network access, all bundled into one opaque number on your monthly statement.
It joins an already suffocating household bill stack. You've got streaming subscriptions, cloud storage upgrades, mobile data plans, fitness app memberships, home security monitoring, and now your car requires a login.
And that convenience of a single monthly bundle serves a very specific psychological purpose. It completely obscures the true lifetime cost of the vehicle.
You no longer know exactly how much you are paying for the raw metal, how much is going toward loan interest, and how much is being siphoned off for temporary access to digital features.
The economic test for the consumer isn't whether $50 a month looks affordable on paper. It's whether the ongoing service actually lowers your total cost of ownership over a decade, or if just mathematically divides the original product into a never-ending, inescapable stream of micropayments.
And sitting quietly underneath all of those payments is the real gold mine, which is data.
The ultimate currency.
A connected vehicle is essentially a massive, rolling mobile sensor suite. It meticulously tracks your GPS location, your driving speed, your rapid acceleration, your charging patterns, your infotainment activity, and your real-time driving behavior.
This raises an important question regarding conflicting interests because that data stream serves every stakeholder differently.
How so?
Well, the everyday driver desperately wants privacy and anonymity. Ford wants continuous operational insight to improve their digital platforms and train their algorithms.
And the fleet manager wants rigid employee accountability.
Right. The insurance company wants highly accurate, granular risk profiles. The government regulator wants safety transparency. And the independent repair shop just wants basic diagnostic access without being locked out by a corporate firewall.
It fundamentally changes what a car actually is. It stops being a mechanical machine that you command, and it becomes a governed digital environment that monitors you.
Exactly. Can a fleet manager legally track an employee's location outside of working hours?
Or can your historical location data be subpoenaed in a complex legal dispute or an employment case?
Can your hard-braking data be instantly routed to an insurance provider to spike your monthly premium without your explicit consent?
It's a huge privacy concern.
It is. And as soon as you transform a car into a governed digital environment, massive cybersecurity liability follows immediately. By making critical vehicle functions dependent on cloud accounts and cellular networks, the manufacturer takes on a permanent, unrelenting obligation to defend millions of mobile computers.
We are talking about account theft, real-time location exposure, payment gateway breaches, malicious software injection, and honestly, the nightmare scenario, which is fleet ransomware.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Imagine a coordinated hack that simultaneously breaks 10,000 delivery vans across a major city, demanding a cryptocurrency ransom to unlock the ignitions.
That defensive obligation is incredibly expensive and complex.
And it's not just a data breach. If your music streaming subscription fails, it is mildly annoying. But if a subscription-based driver assistance system fails at highway speeds because of a bad code push,
That is a life or death, safety-critical issue. It's massive product liability.
right, the digital maps have to be perfectly current, the software relentlessly validated. What happens when a slick marketing campaign creates expectations that the physical technology cannot safely meet?
Or an over-the-air update alters the throttle response or changes how the braking feels after you've already owned the car for 3 years.
Because the manufacturer can push those updates directly to the vehicle's modem, this entire shift dramatically destabilizes the traditional dealership model as well.
Oh, because they rely on you coming into the shop.
Exactly. Historically, franchise dealers generated significant reliable profit on physical repairs and routine maintenance. But if predictive maintenance catches anomalies early and over-the-air updates can patch software bugs without the customer ever stepping foot inside a physical repair bay, the dealer loses their most consistent revenue stream.
That shifts the entire balance of power. The traditional dealership sold you the physical car, but Ford's central smartphone app, their cloud servers, and their payment gateways control the customer relationship for the next 10 years.
Who handles the angry complaints when a feature gets geofenced?
Or who gets the revenue split for a digital horsepower upgrade? The local dealer could be reduced to merely providing physical warranty support for a digital software business controlled entirely from a corporate headquarters thousands of miles away.
This dynamic is exactly why Wall Street loves the pivot. And you have to understand the investor angle to comprehend why automakers are so desperate to push through all of this liability, all of this engineering complexity, and all of the fierce customer pushback.
Because capital markets despise the cyclical, unpredictable nature of traditional manufacturing earnings, right?
Exactly. Building physical factories requires billions in upfront capital before consumer demand is even proven.
And add in the fact that Legacy Auto's electric vehicle divisions have absorbed billions of dollars in brutal operating losses while they try to finance new battery architectures and EV platforms from scratch.
Software revenue, theoretically, scales across a massive growing installed base with near zero marginal cost. Investors gladly pay a massive premium for predictable, high-margin, recurring revenue that is difficult for a consumer to cancel.
But they pay far less for volatile manufacturing profits that violently rise and fall with raw material prices and macroeconomic credit conditions.
Right. Subscriptions act as a vital financial hedge against manufacturing instability and those billions lost in the EV transition. If vehicle sales suddenly slow down during a recession, a robust subscription business continues to reliably pump cash into the company every single month.
So if we look at the future of this massive experiment, the outcome isn't written yet. It all depends on the friction between Wall Street's demands and consumer tolerance.
Right. There are really a few ways this could go.
If Ford Pro successfully locks in these commercial fleets, Wall Street's dream comes true. Software margins soar, mixed fleet compatibility brings rival vehicles onto Ford's operating system, and the recurring revenue empire is fully realized. That's the bull case.
But what happens if everyday consumers who are already exhausted by subscription fatigue just decide they have had enough? That friction forces a very different reality.
A middle ground, maybe?
Yeah, you might see a middle case where commercial fleets embrace the software, but retail consumers remain highly stubborn.
Meaning the everyday driver absolutely refuses to pay a monthly fee for basic hardware access like heated seats or remote start, but they will willingly activate BlueCruise for a specific cross-country road trip.
Exactly. They will pay for live traffic data and advanced safety features, but basic convenience features must remain permanently unlocked and standard.
And if the pushback is severe enough, the entire model could fracture.
The bear case.
Right. Imagine a scenario where feature gating is utterly rejected by the market. Used car buyers practically revolt over having to audit inactive hardware. The astronomical costs to defend against cyber threats and provide 247 technical support spiral out of control.
And crucially, federal regulators step in to aggressively crack down on data privacy, predatory automatic renewals, and the digital right to repair, forcing manufacturers to abandon the strategy and make vehicle functions fully standard once again. The ultimate decider shaping this future isn't the sophistication of the technology itself. It is the fundamental concept of fairness.
Fairness.
Customers will absolutely pay a recurring fee if the manufacturer continues creating tangible, ongoing value long after the initial sale. Updated routing maps, cellular data connections, continuous cloud computing, and fleet optimization, those are genuine, active services.
But customers will passionately, vocally rebel if a corporation attempts to charge them repeatedly for value that was already delivered and paid for at the initial point of sale.
That is the dividing line between a successful service and a predatory toll booth.
Which perfectly frames the fundamental shift we are talking about today. Ownership is no longer one single unified concept. The old mechanical car bundled everything together under one key. The connected car separates ownership into four distinct, highly contested layers.
4 layers, yeah.
First, legal ownership. Your name is legally on the bank title. Second, hardware ownership. You physically own the metal, the engine, the heavy battery, and the glass sensors. Third, software ownership. You absolutely do not own the code. You merely receive temporary conditional permission to use it.
And finally, functional ownership. Do you actually have the unrestricted freedom to use, repair, transfer, and modify everything that physical machine is mechanically capable of doing? Manufacturers are aggressively preparing for a world where the customer technically owns the depreciating physical asset, while the corporation retains absolute unbreakable control over an expanding digital layer operating inside of it.
And that digital layer can make a plumbing fleet infinitely more productive. It can make predictive maintenance dramatically smarter, and it can theoretically make our highways safer.
But it simultaneously creates a stark new reality of continuous corporate dependence, inescapable recurring costs, massive privacy vulnerabilities, and the looming threat of sudden digital obsolescence.
Oh, what does this all mean?
Well, it means the vehicle remains parked in your driveway.
And you keep paying for the rubber tires, the monthly insurance premiums, the electricity or fuel, the physical repairs, and the heavy bank loan.
But when the most valuable advanced capabilities of that machine rely completely on a corporation's remote servers and their continuing permission to operate.
Subscribe to the Unlayered Global now because this channel does not just explain the headline, it reveals the hidden system underneath it.
And the hidden system here leaves us with a pretty profound, lingering thought.
It does. If our physical assets, the heavy, incredibly expensive metal machines sitting right in our own driveways, can be digitally downgraded, restricted, geofenced, or fundamentally altered by a corporation at any given moment, do we truly own anything in the modern world anymore? Or are we just permanently renting our own lives from tech platforms?